Hello, wonderful Finance Oracle fans. I trust you are doing well today. Well, my name is Martin from Finance Oracle, and I am here again today to share with you information that will help you to achieve your migration dream. Today, I will be discussing about the CDR, which is the Career Development Report, and I will be discussing with you 12 ways you can write your career development report. So, I'll be doing a quick summary of what the Career Development Report is and how you can write it without finding it very difficult. It is a very complicated report, so it needs you to take down a lot of details and to make a lot of research for you to pull down the career episode report perfectly. Well, before I come back to the career development report, some visas like 189 visa, 190 visa and 491 visa are point-based visas. So before you will be able to access this visa, you will need to do a migration skill assessment. I've in my previous video told you much about migration skill assessment and how to also do point calculations. So if you have not watched those videos, you may have to go back to watch them. I also discussed about the 189 visa itself and 190 visa itself, so which means I've done a lot of jobs on these things. But then, whatever the case is, be aware that if you have 65 and above, you will be able to apply for any of these visas, the 189 visa or even the 190 visa. But then, before you go on to apply, there are many other requirements which you need to meet. One of them is migration skill assessment, okay? So today I'm going to be discussing how to do the CDR for Engineers Australia. I think my last visa was actually on migration skill assessment for Engineers Australia. So if you're an engineer or you know someone who is an engineer and you're interested to pursue this course, then it is important for you to listen and watch this video. Yeah, so for you to do a successful migration skill assessment with Engineers Australia, they will be requiring the Competency Development Report. Be aware that there are about 4 channels plus CDR, which is 5 channels, for you to achieve your migration skill assessment with Engineers Australia. Number 1 is if you graduated in Australia as an engineer. Number 2 is Washington Accord. And number 3 is Sydney Accord, and number 4 is Dublin Accord. And the last way, if you are not recognized by either of this way, then you will need to do the migration. You will need to do the migration skill assessment by demonstrating your competency, and this can only be done by the Competency Development Report, the CDR. Okay, this is the way that you're going to show them that your education qualification is superior or not superior, meets the requirement of the education qualification or requirement in Australia. This is also how you're going to demonstrate and show that you can prove your education, okay? So, but before you will be able to do the CDR, there are about 4 occupation categories which I've said earlier on in my previous video, but I will just do a quick recap, okay? For the Engineers Australia, they've got professional engineers, so you will demonstrate that you have 4 years experience, 4 years of degree and some work experience. And for the engineering technologists, you will have at least 3 years degree and some work experience. And for the engineering associate, you will have at least 2 years degree and some work experience. And for you to register as the engineering manager, you may register as an engineering manager when you do not meet any of the requirements above, but have work in a related field and you manage engineers, then you'll be able to register as an engineering manager. So guys, today I want to talk about 12 ways you can write a perfect CDR report. Well, if you do get your CDR report correctly, then you are sure to get registered. If you do not get it correctly, you may not get a positive migration skill assessment. So I've made some notes and I will be going through this note as quick as possible so that you'll be able to have enough information to write your migration skill assessment, okay? Yeah, there are a number of things that you need to keep ready for you to write your migration skill assessment or for you to successfully do your migration skill assessment and also write your CDR. One of them is a well-summarized CV or a resume. The next one is you need to have a record of your employment history, including the name, location, contact details of the organization. Okay. Then you also need to have your employment duration dates. Then you need to have your job title, in all the organizations where you've worked. You also need to have the job role and your individual activity in that company, okay? And you also need a letter that shows your job role and, describing what you've done or what you're supposed to do or what you were employed to do in that company. So that letter is also very important. You will need it at a point in your immigration process. Yeah, then you also need to include your CPD, which is Career Development Program, okay? Yeah, so your Career Development Program is actually a one-page format document that includes everything you've done in terms of development, like trainings you've had, research you've had, things that you've done to develop yourself. So mostly it could be training, it could be educational training, it could be skill training or whatever it is. Where the career episode is written in English and is about 1,000 to 2,500 words. So it has to be within this range of words, okay? And your career episode must be written in the format which I will be telling you, mostly in the format of paragraph 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, which means career episode 1, we have episode 1.1, episode 1.2, episode 1.3, up to maybe 1.10, maybe 1.15, maybe 1.13. Then career episode 2 also will take that same form, and career episode 3 will also take that form. So you're going to have 3 career episodes, okay? 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Now the next thing you need to know is that you don't need to make grammatical mistakes or punctuation or spelling errors. They are going to affect your CDR report because they also believe that as an engineer, your report should be accurate because punctuation alone can change what your report looks like. Okay, so while writing your CDR, don't use harsh words or tone. Try as much as possible to use friendly tone. Don't use too much grammatical, too much of vocabularies. Okay, but and it should be written in standard language that fits the standard set of by engineers. You don't have to make it like you're writing lawyers or you're writing a literature, a novel. Okay, yeah. Don't overuse adverbs. Don't overstuff prepositions, or prepositional phrases, and a number of other things. Well, I'm not an English teacher, so I'm not going to talk much about that. Yeah, the next thing you need to do is make sure your career episode is plagiarism free. Make sure there is no copywriting. You didn't pick your friends and change his name and change the company name and one or two things and use the same documents. I mean, it's not gonna fly. They have a way of finding out, and once they find out, they will not give you a positive skill assessment, and you might also be penalized. So it is very risky for you. Number 4 thing you need to know is the list the documents. Okay, you need to list the document you need to submit to Engineers Australia, and those documents includes your personal document like birth certificate, passports, citizenship, and other vital documents. These things you need to keep them. Next thing you need is English proficiency. Be aware that they accept IELTS, TOEFL, PT and Cambridge test, but most popular is IELTS and PTE that people mostly use for this. For PTE, you need to get 50 all through at least, and for IELTS, you need to get 6 band all through at least. But this is for registration purpose. After registration purpose, perhaps if you have 6 all through, that may not give you the desired score unless you are of the optimal age and you have quality education. But I mean, 6 all through wouldn't have been or will not be the best point for you. So you may consider getting a higher point at the time of registration, or after registration you can also improve your IELTS score for visa application for the point-based system. Okay, yeah. So you also need other information such as curriculum vitae, your resume, a well summarized resume. Okay, you also need registration certificates like your academic transcript and your degree certificates. You will also be needing an evidence of previous employment, your letter of employment, your letter of relief letter, your testimony letter, these kind of things. I needed to get a summary statement at the end of your career episode reports, and you also need your career episode itself. So these are documents you need to submit for your migration skill assessment and onward for a visa processing. Okay, yeah. The next thing also you need to do to get a perfect career episode is to have a suitable introduction. Okay, for the complete CDR report, you need to include the introduction part, which needs to be about 100 words. You need to include the following information: the name of the organization, the history, location of organization, title of your position. This is better to be in a tabular form. Okay, you have to put this in a tabular form. I will try to drop link for you to get some sample of career episode report, okay, so that you will have a good feeling of what it looks like. And number 6 thing you need to do is to have an appropriate background. Yeah, you need to include the content of where you have been studying or working in the background section. You also need to include information like the nature of the project, the nature of the work, objective of the goal, objective or the goal of the project, organizational order like organization structure, organogram, job description, or statement of duty. By the way, before I forget, for the career episode, it has to be written in first person. I, me, my. They want to see your own contribution. Even if you have worked with a group of people, what they want you to pick out is the contribution in the project. They want to see how relevant an engineer you are. It's not about what you guys did. You hit on a team of guys and do a project. They want to see what you achieved as a person. So it is important for you to do this. And they want to see your organogram to see where you fit in and what your role is. Number 17 you need to do is you need to demonstrate personal engineering projects. Okay, your career episode. Yeah, actually this, the career episode itself, the central part of the career episode is your personal engineering project. So either a project you did in school or in your workplaces. By the way, you need to write 3 career episodes, which means if you are a fresh graduate of, let's say, 4 or 5 years work experience, definitely your school project will play a role here. But if you've had 10, 15 years experience, you may not really need your school project, because you might have done so many other projects, superior ones, so you may have to keep your school project aside and focus on other projects. And you need to write at least 1,000 words and not exceeding more than 2,500 words. Yeah, so this is very important for you to take note of. Okay, yeah. So do not include group or team activities. Just focus on what you've done by yourself, and the following information will be great: how you apply your skill and knowledge, how you work with your team, the tasks you performed, as a person, and how you completed them, a technical problem which you faced, and how did you solve this problem, and include creative design work. In fact, if you include creative design work, you are going to have a positive skill assessment. Okay, when I say creative design work, I'm trying to talk about those work that demonstrate the ability. An engineer do design, innovate, and a number of other things. So if you're an engineer and you just do things without any creative design work, then that career episode is incomplete. You may have to register as a technologist. Yeah, so that is it. And number 19 you need to do is to explain about technical difficulty. It is important because in every project or in most projects you may encounter technical difficulties. So it is important for you to explain those technical difficulties which you faced. And if you do so, then it is important to also discuss on how you solved it in the next paragraph. Okay, the solution which you profile to this. And number 10 thing you need to do is the details about the project management. Yeah, so project management supervises a project to meet a goal, timeline, budget. So you need to demonstrate that you're able to supervise the project, to achieve the goal, to meet the timeline, to stay within budget. Otherwise, there is not a good project management. So they also believe that as an engineer, you need to demonstrate a project management skill. So somehow in between your career episode, you should be able to come up with the project management skill, okay? And the next thing, which is very important, is the summary. So you need to summarize what you've done. So apart from this, once you've done this for the 3 projects, you have your career episode 1, career episode 2, and career episode 3. The next thing you need to do is your summary statement. Okay, well, your summary statement, a template is going to be provided by, professional summary statement for engineers. It will be provided by the Engineers Australia. So you will see a number of points. I can't remember how many it is, but as much as possible, I'll try to show you in this video the summary statement template. So you need to fill in each of the requirements. You need to fill in what you've done. What you've done in your project. You're going to see the competency elements. You're going to see a brief summary of how you have applied the elements, and then you see the paragraph. So it's in 3 sections. So for each of them, PE 1.1, you will see things like comprehensive theory-based understanding of the underpinning natural and physical science and the engineering fundamental applicable to the engineering discipline. So for this, you need to come in the description and explain how you meet with these very competency elements. And then you show a proof of the paragraph so that the assessor can look at the paragraph and go and confirm that this has been achieved. Okay? The same way he will go to PE 1.2, and he will see in PE 1.2, for example, it is conceptual understanding of the mathematics, numerical analysis, statistics, and computer and information science which underpin the engineering discipline. So you also need to explain it, what you've done, and you prove it by showing the places. So the next one, that way they have it until 3.6, okay, which is effective team membership and team leadership. So you need to show all these qualities for you to be able to register and be registered as, or to have a positive skill assessment. So that is it. So once you've done this, the next thing you need to do is your CPD. Okay, and your CPD is your continuing professional development. Yeah, that is the not career development program. It is continuing professional development. For your CPD, you will need to demonstrate just a 1-page that shows that you are currently undergoing training. It could be different trainings you've undergone. It could also be by keeping a logbook at work and your supervisor goes through them and makes some appropriate corrections and things like that. So this is about what you need. So guys, in summary, for you to write the CDR, you need to have your English language. For you to do a skill migration assessment, you need to have your CDR, you need to have your copies of your credentials like your transcript, your MBB, your bachelor's degree. You need to have your English language test, your CV, and a few other things. So with this, you will be able to submit your migration skill assessment with Engineers Australia. Well, application depends on whether you fast track it or whether you are just applying without fast tracking it. But you should be aware that if you don't apply with fast track, it means that you may have to wait for 15 weeks before it will be assessed to an assessor who will now take it at his own pace and complete it. So guys, this is it about the CDR. I will try to show you some information like the professional engineering summary statement and any other link which I will be sharing in the description of this video so that you can do your CDR yourself. So guys, this is it about CDR, and if you think you need help about CDR, you can contact me through martinfinanceoracle@gmail.com, and I will give you every necessary support. Well, of course, for CDR writing is going to come with a fee, but for advice, to look up this video and see all the description to get information on how to go about it. Guys, this is what I have for you. I wish you the best of luck. Cheers. So, guys, just like I promised, this is what the summary statement looks like. So you're going to see this template. You can download this template from Engineers Australia website. And this is the summary statement for professional engineers. You're going to see PE1, knowledge and skill based. That way you are going to go down. Anyway, look at 1.1. You see comprehensive theory-based understanding of the underpinning natural and physical science and the engineering fundamentals applicable to the engineering discipline. So here you're going to give brief summary of what you've done in your job concerning this competency element. And this place you're going to put the paragraph where you demonstrated them. So the same way you go to PE 1.2, PE 1.3, you can see from here is knowledge and skill base. Then PE2, engineering application ability. PE3, professional and personal attributes. That continues, and yeah, that's the end. So you say stop at 3.6. So you are going to fill out all this. This is just a template. You're not going to fill here, but you're going to make your own. Fine. So, guys, this is part of what you need. You need the professional engineering summary, and you need the career episode, and you need the continual professional development. So, with those documents, about five of them, you're good to go. So, guys, I will zip up this video here, and I wish you a successful journey. Thank you.